I'm going to officially introduce and welcome my man Mike Neal to the show. Mike Neal, happy to have you, the Soul Food Junkie.
Man, Keegan, I appreciate it, brother. Anything that any opportunity we get a chance to talk, it's always something that is needed. There's no coincidence that it happens, and I'm supposed to be here at this time, and I appreciate you for having me, man.
The growth that has happened since the last time I was supposed to do a channel and supposed to have you on there is amazing because at that point I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what my voice was for. I didn't know what I wanted to put out there. Within that time frame, a lot has changed within me. A lot has changed within what is priority for me. And the biggest part about it is just pure communication, pure conversation. And so the original goal was to tattoo people and work on them, but I want to talk to the people that I do tattoo, but I just want to talk because
Hmm.
those are where the pure conversations go. In the tattoo shop, it's always reminded me of the barber shop. You always have those really dope conversations that
Hmm.
are only really meant for the tattoo shop or only really meant for the barber shop. But you and I have bonded in so many ways
Hmm.
because of that. My respect level for you has helped because with what I've seen you apply to your everyday life and what you apply to the field, I've applied to myself. Um, Now let's go ahead and just explain for people that wouldn't be aware. And do you mind talking about like the biggest thing that you'd be known for?
Yeah. Like I am Mike Neal. I am a Super Bowl champion. I am a second round draft pick.
Mm,
I am a 56 pick of the draft.
flex, boy, flex.
I did play 6 years in the NFL, credited six. I actually had seven before I retired. I graduated with 2 degrees from Purdue University. I'm a kid from Gary, Indiana. And now I do credit repair. I still dibble dabble in real estate. I do credit repair. And now I'm off into different ventures too. Hopefully in the future it comes, to fruition. But that's who I am, man. And if you know anything about me, you'll know that. I mean, Google will tell you the story. I don't got to. I like to keep it authentic, man. I don't lie to people. The Super Bowl is bittersweet for me. Um, you only dream of being able to be a Super Bowl championship, but as a player, you dream to play in the Super Bowl. And I actually was hurt my rookie year, and I didn't get a chance to play. And this is me again. The ring is cool. The title is cool. But the fact that I wasn't able to step on that game, on that field, as a player, that's something that will probably haunt me for the rest of my life, yo. I'm not even gonna lie. That stabs my heart. And everybody go, well, you got the title. Well, that shit don't mean a damn thing to me because I wasn't on that field. And I remember my parents being so excited, but I also remember almost literally hating my parents for wanting to go to that game because I felt like my best representation, my last name or just even from my parents would have been for me to be on that field. In hindsight now is different because people just only remember that title. Nobody really remembers the game and nobody remembers, that I didn't play. But that's some shit that I have to live with. And, hey, I'll take it to the grave with me, but the title was cool because you got to think how many people get the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. There's Hall of Famers that have never won a Super Bowl, so I'm blessed to be able to have the opportunity to do so, and honestly, to be on the team with a whole lot of Hall of Famers at the time. So yeah, it was cool, but honestly, because I hated it so much and I regret that I did. I remember a lot of stuff from that Super Bowl run, but there's a lot of key points in it I don't remember. And I'm mad at myself for that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man.
I was blessed to be able to check out your ring. You brought it in so I could check it out, and you had told me a pretty amazing fact that you've actually never worn it.
Yeah, nah, I won't either. Because I didn't earn it. That's me, number one. Number two, I actually broke my finger when I was in college when we won. Historically, that's still the biggest size Super Bowl ring in Green Bay Packers history. And now it don't even fit because I'm a lot smaller than I was when I got it sized, and it slide right off. So, but reason number one, I didn't earn it, and that's why I don't wear it. People go, "You don't wear a Super Bowl ring," and I tell them I never will. It looks good in the case because that's where it belongs.
One of my first things I remember about you was learning learning how you felt about the Super Bowl, and I really appreciate you being willing to be that transparent. What I see is a lot different, and I would understand how it wouldn't be enough for you. What I see is a process of how you helped a team win to get to the Super Bowl. And so that knowledge is huge. Not being able to play it, bro, man, my heart goes to you because I could understand that concept, but not even to that level.
Hmm.
And so I really appreciate you being willing to share that, be transparent about it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, I don't take anything away from the experience. And the one thing that I learned about life is no matter what you do and no matter how you feel at that point in time, there's a reason for it and you learn from it, regardless of whether I feel that way now, if I felt that way then. Um, it had to happen that way, and I can't question why it happened that way, but who knows, would I still be or have the same competitive drive in me or that relentless feeling to wake up and prove something to somebody if it didn't happen? So for me, I'm just like, man, no, and I'm a heavy, deep thinker, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And it don't take long for me, but I look at, the signs and absolutely everything. I'm gonna break it down, because I gotta understand it. And even if I can't understand, if I get close enough to understanding why it happened, even if I don't know right then and there, that's how I live, bro. So it happened the way it was supposed to, and I'm happy it happened that way. I wouldn't change it because I wouldn't be where I'm at if it didn't happen that way.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me the moment that you get signed, the moment that you know, like you now a professional football player. Tell me that feeling.
Years of watching um just my parents. I didn't none of it was really for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hold on to that more than anything, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, if it wasn't for me to be able to do that, and it means more to me now than it did then. It was just the feelings like, damn, cool, you drafted. But 15 years down the line, it's like, shit, look at everything that happened because of that one moment. So, and I tell people this all the time, it never was about me. Bro, my birthday just passed. I drove to the gym crying the entire time because I realized that, thank God for giving me another year, but he gave me this life for other people. It was not for me to live. It's for me to live and it's for me to enjoy. But my enjoyment purely comes out of watching everything that happened because of it. And I don't take credit for nobody's work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I could talk about my brother because he's sitting right here, but he used to always tell me, thank you for everything you did. And I always tell him, dude, I didn't step on the field and play for you. Regardless, I might have inspired what you got, but you still had to go out there and do that shit on your own. So I'm happy that what I did inspired you to be able to get to that point. I never take credit for that shit, but at the end of the day, all that shit it wasn't for anything. It wasn't for nothing. At the end of the day, it was for you to be able to have that dream. It was something that was placed for you and it was more tangible. Like, people ask me all the time, like, dude, I did not love football. I didn't give a shit about that. I gave a shit about competing. I gave a shit about not having my parents struggle financially anymore. That was my biggest thing. But my brother had way more of a love for the game because he got a chance to watch it from a different angle. I played it at the time. He watched it. So that was different. So now his love for the game is because, I got the chance to watch you do it. My love for the game was because your mom ain't got to worry about where her next meal coming from. Y'all don't have to drive one car. You don't have to be this family that grew up in Gary and suffered. Our reasonings was different. So at the end of the day, man, that feeling was cool at the time. Yeah, you're a second round draft pick to the Green Bay Packers, cool. But I didn't even know more than 2 or 3 players on the team at the time. Hell, they called me asking me like, yeah, do you know who the starting defensive tackle is? Shit, BJ Raji, I know the one white dude with the long hair, and I know Aaron Rodgers. But other than that, now I don't know nobody else because I just didn't love it. You know what I'm saying? But I love to compete, and I love to. I was always a me versus me person. Okay, now you got it. Now you got to go start. You know what I'm saying? So that feeling was cool, man. It was surreal, and it was more important for the people around me at the time than it probably was for me. To be honest with you.
To set the wheels in motion for anything positive is huge. I mean, without that happening, I mean, military kids a lot of times wouldn't be military kids without their parents being military,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it works like that. So the reality of it is, without that wheels being set in motion, things wouldn't probably go down the way they do.
Right.
But I would like to go back to the part of you touching on like playing and knowing that you're trying to help your parents get out of a financial tough ship, and it just sounds like a lot of weight on your back. Is that something that you've always just like had for the family? Is that something that you're just naturally like, period?
Let my mom tell it I was born this way. You know what I'm saying? And she's not shy about saying that. Because who I am is who I am. And I've been the same way and I haven't really changed. Um, because of how passionate I am about absolutely everything, maybe I create a space for stuff to be feeling like a weight on my back when it's not really a weight on my back. But the way that I see it is that this is real facts. The way that I feel, if Jesus had to pick up his cross and carry it, and he carried to save others, I watched my dad pick up his cross and carry it for my family. I watched my mom beat a lot of challenging stuff and carry it for the family. I watched my grandmother die carrying the weight of a family. So at that point in time, I looked at it like, well, who's left? You know, my grandmother died carrying that weight. My mom was dying carrying that weight. So who's gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? And I went through hell in the NFL, to be honest with you. But the sheer fact that I watch people never quit and die literally carrying that weight, nah, I'm like, I'm not about to let my family have to carry shit else. I'm gonna stop this right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have anything to do with it, I'm cool with having to go through hell, but I'm not about to let nobody else struggle when I know that I can do something else about it. So I was cool with it, man. I'm still cool with it. It sucks sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty in it, of it all. Like, if it didn't suck, I wouldn't have such a passion about doing it. But I guess it's in the chaos where you find peace, you know? So, and that's the biggest thing. Chaos is created for you to find peace. If you're still living in chaos and you can't find peace, you lose it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find a peace in the chaos. So if there's mass chaos, then I look for the peace, because that's where it's supposed to be at.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I love that you have the outlook that you do. It's a powerful thing. I I believe that you create that pressure because it obviously probably makes you perform at a higher level. Just because even if there's no competition from somebody else, you're gonna create your own competition. You're gonna create your own lane.
100%, bro. 100%. Like, but you just said it best, man. And I mean, you do jewelry.
Right.
You know, in order to bust that jewelry down, you got to create pressure. You know, under and whatever circumstance, you got to create pressure. You got to stress that diamond. You got to stress that gold. You got to heat that gold up. You got to put it under most tension and stress to shape it and form it. That's the same thing with life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit forms who you really are. You know what I'm saying? And not even that I'm not playing now. I, I was, think about football. You are always under pressure. Off the field, even when it's not game day, you're under pressure to live a certain way because a microscope is on you. You are literally born in pressure from the moment that you start playing sports. And if you played it from a child up, you're always under pressure. So if I don't feel pressure, that means I'm comfortable. And I don't like to be comfortable. So even if I don't have pressure, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning is creating pressure. That's creating tension. I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But people go, well, how do you look like that? It's because I create pressure. This isn't for the look, but it's the pressure that I put myself under. Just like when you heat up gold to form it, I form myself into this by being able to create that pressure. So that's just how I look at it, man. I love it. I mean, it's borderline. Sometimes you think about it as suicidal, but there's a lot of validation in when I look at people, the people that I look at that are very, very, very successful. They all do the same exact thing. So I know that I'm headed in the right direction because there's validation and all that.
Yeah, no pressure, no diamonds.
100%, bro. 100%.
Something I do want to say too. I think that if you're an average person and you're a fan, you meet an NFL player, you get to talk to one or whatever it is, all you see is the success, right?
Mm-hmm.
All you hear is NFL player, all you hear is Super Bowl, all you hear is whatever. And you've never really, I think, allowed me to see that part of it for you. And I think that it's really humbling to think about because as an average person, I would want to see all the wins for you. But then it's like, man, I wouldn't see the amount of pressure this dude really goes through. I wouldn't really see the amount of people relying on him. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
see the emotional aspect of not playing in that game. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's important for people to realize that no matter what position you're in life, the struggles are going to be there. Regardless of whatever it is, the struggles are always going to be there.
Dude, you know what's crazy? We riding to the gym this morning. My brother got this song playing on, and the dude started talking about a goat. I literally pay attention to everything. He starts defining the definition of a goat. Is everybody's a goat? You won. You got out of the situation you was in. Bro, you own a tattoo shop, another tattoo shop. You do jewelry. You're a fucking goat. Bro, I played in the NFL. Yeah, cool. I was good at that. To own two businesses, to own two spots where you have to pay rent, where you have to be able to balance books, where you have to pay taxes, to be a business owner, that shit is hard. So, bro, at the end of the day, it's much respect. Yeah, I won a Super Bowl. That's cool. You winning them motherfuckers every single day. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I look at? If Keegan can do this shit, why can't I own my own goddamn business? I literally look at absolutely everything that everybody do, and I go, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Hell, Ryan can fix a computer. He can software engineer type stuff. Okay, well, now they made ChatGPT. Let me figure out how the fuck I can create my own code without having to call him. You know what I'm saying? It's like I literally pay attention to everything. Everybody has a way about doing something that makes them special. I played in the NFL, that was cool. Guess what? God gave me the ability to. If I didn't do that, I didn't do any justice to him. I didn't do any justice to myself. So now that I'm done, what the hell else can you do? Because life didn't stop when I stopped playing football. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what people don't see. They like, oh yeah, you play. Keegan, if somebody follows you around with a camera every single day and had you all over YouTube, you would be a YouTube phenom. And you know what they would see? Success. They wouldn't see all the other shit that it took for you to build this.
Right.
So at the same day, there's no difference in the story. It's just the fact that what I did created a space where there's a whole lot of fucking money because people watch that because it's on TV all the time. Well, guess what the hell kids do nowadays? They look at YouTube all the time. There's no TV. There's YouTube. There's TikTok. Let somebody follow you around every single day. You can make way more money than I ever made in the NFL because that's just what's popping right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm appreciative of it all, but you have a process that you went to. You had struggles. You had to keep sacrificing. I did the same thing. It's just in two different fields. So there's no difference between me and you. And I like to keep that. I try to keep that flat open for everybody to understand. There's no difference between me and you. It's just the fact that I had a fucking camera in my face doing this every single day. So that made me special. Yeah, there's something behind the determination, but there's a reason why business owners connect so well with athletes. Because if you're a business owner and you're very successful, you 1%. Because people build businesses that fail every single day. There's athletes that can never make it to the NFL every single day. There's no difference between me and you, bro. It's not.
But that's where I'm happy that you brought up the 1%. You and I have spoken about that a few times, and it's one of my favorite conversations with you because I don't think it's an ego thing to say. I think it's facts.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain people that are willing to sacrifice their bodies, their minds, their families, their time, anything in order to be part of that 1%. And it's not that I got to be part of this 1%, but it's a matter of I've got to do better. Whatever I did has to be better tomorrow. Whatever I did with here and here and here, now I know I did better. Shit, it's not a matter of feeling good that I did better. It's now I know I could do even better tomorrow. So there's always a pursuit of something bigger and better. And although there are a lot of athletes, not all athletes are part of that 1%. They're not all willing to make that sacrifice. They're not willing to go to bed early. They're not willing to wake up early, put the extra training time in. You hit it earlier. How long is your workout time?
Shoot, I'm in there. I wake up at 3. Sometimes I get there 4:30, but I'm in there for, on average, an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours.
That's what I caught earlier. My workout's an hour and 15 minutes. You already made me feel like I'm slacking. Right? So that's the part, though, is I picked up on that as well. It's like that 2-hour mark is the willingness to do more than the average. And that's what creates that 1%. And not everybody, I believe, is ever even understanding that that's what it requires to be part of that exclusive elite club. To be part of that level is making all of the sacrifices, not just wanting it, not wanting to be an NFL player, but doing everything it takes to be there.
And you know what I'm going to add to couple that? You could do my workout in 45 minutes. You could. I'm not, no bullshit. But you know what the difference between me and somebody that would? The attention to detail.
Right.
and pushing myself every single rep, every single set to the max. That's the difference. Because, yeah, you can go in there and blast the living shit out of my workout, no lie, in 45 minutes. And people do that type of stuff all the time. But nah, it's slow, controlled, attention to detail, making sure that I do it every single time the exact same way. And if I can't, yeah, I might have to, back off, do a little bit less weight. But it's the attention to detail that keeps me in there for 2 hours versus a person that can blast it in 45 minutes. The people that do it great, they do it the right way. They do it the right way, and they do it the right way every single time because it's the right thing to do. And I had a coach that used to tell us that all the time. Yeah, you can do shit, you can do anything, but can you do it the right way because it's the right thing to do and do it the right way every single time? And if you can't do that, then what the hell are you really doing it for? Because now you're just wasting your own time. You think you're doing something, but you're not creating a habit. You're not separating yourself from just what the norm would do, So
I'll tell you, I've seen your workouts and your weights, and it's also including some big heavy weights.
Yeah, 24/7. And I try to stop, man, but it's that thing. If I go lighter than I went the day before, damn, am I really pushing myself today or am I slacking off?
Right.
Like I went in there today and I cut back. I didn't do what I typically do to the full capacity, but yesterday afternoon I was outside for 3 hours cutting grass, 3 hours in the heat, you know what I'm saying? And you go look at my grass, there's attention to the detail, you know what I'm saying? But to sweat that much and wake up that early in the morning, with not replenishing myself all the way, and just had a good conversation with my old trainer too. There's no excuse, and I didn't push it the whole, but sometimes the thing is that there's some people that would have woke up and not even went. I still went, you know what I'm saying? But there were other things that had to be done. My son was there, my brother was there, my trainer, we had a good conversation about things that could push both of us. So it was a reason why I went there, but I still got the work in. But was it normally how I do it? No, but there was other things that happened too that needed to happen, which is the reason why I ended up, it just so happened, the reason why I ended up there. So, you got to look at it and take it for what it's worth, bro.
Yeah. Man, I was telling Ryan when I was taking him to train that the biggest part is just getting there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times me getting there and doing the work isn't the hard part. A lot of times it's me being tired and I'm hungry and woo woo. Man, I'm gonna be hungry and tired all the time. Like, gotta get some food in me, gotta get there. And I always leave feeling like a ninja. So.
Bro, it's just the battle was won just from being there. Show up. Just show up. Just be there. Be present.
Yeah.
Once you show up, man, you'll do what you naturally know how. If you know how to go in there and work hard, then you're going to work hard. If you slack off, you might slack off. But hell, I just tell you this. Look at the wins. You got there. So if you would have slack off, bring your ass in there tomorrow and slack off again until you make the choice to go in there. Okay, today I'm actually going to work a little bit harder. Now that you worked a little bit harder, if you go in there tomorrow and you do anything less than you did the day before, now you fucked up. So you got to start back all over again. But half the battle is just showing up, bro. You show up, something going to happen. Even if it ain't to the best, you showed up. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not a person that can show up on a regular basis, you got to pat yourself on the back because you're creating a habit that you're not even used to doing in the first place. You're changing who you are. So look at that and use that as, this is the basis. So let me just keep doing this and build on that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As a kid, were you always as confident as you are? Is this something that built in?
I'm going to tell you one thing about successful people. You know why they're successful? Because they have no self-confidence. Because guess what confident people do? They comfortable. You comfortable because you confident. And it sounds a little screwed up, but people who are so confident, they too comfortable. But if you have a lack of kind of like self-esteem, you always looking because you always find a lack. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lack in something. Even if it's not even low self-esteem, there's a lack in something. You know that if I miss this day in the gym, what that's going to do for my performance, even if it really does nothing, but you just created that space. But if you create that space, you create an opportunity for yourself to get better. So it's always like, yeah, no, I absolutely not. Everything that I got in my life came slow and it came last. I didn't make the damn all-star team when I was in third grade for Billy basketball. That killed me. I'm seriously like basketball was where we from was the big thing. I stopped playing after my sophomore year of high school, and I was a damn good basketball player, but I had to run in with the coach. I wasn't picked first on the basketball teams when I played. There was other people better than me. When I played football, I ran out there halfway through training camp my freshman year. Was like, I ain't doing this shit again next year. Ran out there halfway through my sophomore year. Then my sophomore year had a little bit of success, and I'm like, damn, okay, well, I can do this. And it didn't take me into my junior and senior year to have that breakout. When I was in college, it took me 3 years to actually find. In fact, going into my senior year was the first year that I started full time in college. Nobody knows that, but I was a second round draft pick. In the NFL, it took me 3 years to have this. Everything for me came in threes. I looked at it that way. Like, if you don't have the ability to go back and look at your journey and realize, okay, I know this shit gonna kick off at some point in time, but my journey was I never had fast success. My shit took a long time, but you can't build a house overnight and expect for it to not blow over. It's creating a stable foundation. You got to mold it. It takes time, and you have to be able to be patient, because when it breaks out, it's going to break, but then it's going to start all over again. You know what I'm saying? So it never happened fast for me. And I used to question God, like, why the hell is this happening to me? But every time in 3 years, he shows me, like, it took you 3 years. My credit repair business, the same exact thing. It'll be going on 3 years. And guess what? I've been through hell and high water with that, beating myself up, staying up late, doing shit that people wouldn't do. But it's starting to turn over, and I'm seeing that. And I started this in 2021. It's about to be 2024.
Right.
So this shit gonna take off, and then I'm gonna go do some other cool shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I look at it, though, you know? But I know that about me, you know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of just self-assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh because people, they heard that I'm doing the interviews, and I'm changing things up a little bit. They ask me, why is it always something different? And I don't think it always has to be something different, man. But I feel like I like to find something that inspires me and inspires everything else. It fuels me for life. And if I've got to the point where that other situation has got me stagnant, or I just don't feel like there's more for me to move, I gotta move.
Yeah. But you creating that space, bro. Like, and nobody can do that but you. And you know when there's time. So that's why you're able to maneuver like you do. Most people can't do that, which is why they get stuck in 10, 15, 20-year ruts. It's like, well, why ain't I saying anything different? Because you ain't tried different shit. You know, even if you don't become the best of the best, like if you're not the #1 tattoo artist in damn Hillsborough, whatever the case, counties, who the fuck cares, bro? Like you reached to where you good enough to have 2 shops and be able to do something else. So you reached your pinnacle, not pinnacle, but you've reached where you wanted to be, and you start something else. But guess what? You're leaving clues and paths to success, and they all have, you've taken them and you've made them to where you can leave them and go do something else. People can't do that. So that's cool shit.
It's made me love what I do more. So when I do get to sit down and do it, bro, I'm going in. And I tell you, I've gotten faster. My work's gotten even better because I'm training one of my artists and I'm teaching them this stuff that I'm doing. And you realize as you teach, you can't slip.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not doing any justice to teaching. Don't just go sit down. Let somebody else teach, right? So it's really made me step up in a major way. You got a couple kids, you got a full family. The level of where your life is right now, do you feel like the application of the football has been helpful for your lifestyle, or has it just been a matter of your confidence in the way that you approach life, period?
You know what I think that everything's been a stepping stone for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't have one thing without the other. And crazy thing is, man, I'll give you a prime example. My daughter was 1.5 when my career came to an end, but it was almost like, knowing who I am, I don't know if I would have been able to manage a football career the way that I did if I had my daughter.
I was wondering.
Because the example of a father that I had, second to fucking none, dude. I challenge anybody. Your dad ain't better than mine. I'll tell you that. You ain't gonna find my dad will drop everything under the sun for every single one of his kids. I don't give a fuck I had 13 surgeries. Kicking my dad was at 12 of them.
I feel like you just told me my dad could kick your dad's ass. I've got to believe it no matter what, because that's just what's going to happen.
I mean, physically, probably. But, you know what I'm saying? But I tell people that all the time. It's like, and you know what the image of me being a father was? I wanted to be exactly what the fuck my dad was for me.
That's fine.
And I could never give that amount of attention to my kids trying to live that career. In fact, when I tell you that guys set tables for you that you ain't even ready for, I'm like, cool, sign another deal, bought my house, and then a year after that, I was done. And I'm like, damn, man, I thought I had it moving and grooving. But he knew that I needed that house to create stability for me because he knew that I would have a family. And that's just kind of how I looked at it. And I'm like, you know what? He gave me everything I needed to step into the next phase of my life to be who I wanted to be for my kids. And, that's one of the biggest drive for me right now. I still don't feel like I've even met, maybe an 18th of what my dad did for me, to my kids. But at the end of the day, for them to be able to look at me and to be able to create the lifestyle that I have for them, it was supposed to happen that way. So I'm still fighting to be in my kids' life a whole hell of a lot more than I am. I'm there every single day,
Right.
but because I'm there doesn't mean that I'm there. You
Present.
know what I'm saying? So, and that's the biggest thing for me. That is single-handedly, I can tell you, the number one thing that haunts me almost every single day. In fact, every morning, that's probably one of the things that when I'm driving to the weight room, it literally eats my soul up. I'm trying to figure out how I can be there for not only for my kids, but for everybody in my life. How can I be more present? I've held it down for a very long time, but now it's time for me to be able to be who I'm supposed to be for them, because the older I get, the more I realize how fast time's going. So I don't care for a distraction outside of that. People want to hang out, and I'm like, if you got 3 kids and you hanging out, then you got your priorities fucked up. I'm no bullshit. Like if you going out to eat every fucking weekend and you got 3 kids and they my kids' age, I don't need to hang with you because you're not doing what the hell that's not my characteristics. That's not who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's not who I aspire to be. You can go chase a bag, but a bag kind of fucked my life up at the same time. I got it, but then it revealed a whole lot of shit about chasing a bag to me. And I'm not chasing that. I'm chasing to be a dad that my kids will remember and provide the lifestyle for them, that they can grow up and be like, my dad worked his ass off and let us live like this, but he was still there every single day. So now I'm gonna grind like that to get to where I want to be and be that example for my kids, bro. So that's huge for me. You know what I'm saying? That's huge. So
And my daughter was actually asking me about tattoos the other day because she was wondering, I don't think that you were going to tattoo anymore. And I told her, well, the opposite's going to happen. Is a lot of people work a lot when their kids are younger, and then as their kids get older, they retire and they do their thing. But I plan on working more after you get older. I didn't realize at the time that you got older, you were going to need me more. I thought you were going to need me less.
yeah.
And I've understood that my place in life is to help you learn and to be there for your mistakes and to help you with your growth. And if I'm not present for that, then what am I really being the father that I want to be? And
Correct.
the bag is nothing without that. It's nothing, right?
Yeah, shit means nothing, bro.
And it's wild because the younger version of me would cuss me out right now.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that.
100%. And then just like how you hit on at the beginning of this, it's all growth.
Yeah.
You realize what really matters. There's people willing to put their kids on the back burner and apologize to them on their deathbed. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that, man. Now, you know what? I see a lot more people successful in their late 40s, 50s, 60s. You trying to live at 30-something years old, where it took these people years and they've already lived a whole life and then some to get where they at. That shit is slow growth, bro. It always happens that way. And if you accumulate wealth fast, I feel sorry for you because you're going to lose it even faster. You show me instances where somebody accumulated fast and they ain't failed. Nah, I'll give you, 2 or 3 grand straight out of my pocket because that shit don't happen. You know?
It's hard to value it as much, right?
Right.
Yeah, you definitely got to grind and earn it. Man, I can definitely tell you that one of my favorite experiences with you was when we were driving. I saw you driving. We pop out. We say hello to each other in the parking lot, catch up real quick, and we keep it moving. And I was real happy to see you. But I'm always going to be busy. I know you're going to always be busy. When you catch up, it's always going to be really good. I'm always happy to see the progress that you made. And my man, I can definitely tell you that your mental seems such a really amazing place right now. I've seen you in, how long have we known each other now? It's been
it's been shit. I want to say maybe 2013 or 14.
I want to say you started coming to the first location, right?
It was probably, I think so. So this had to have been, I got my first tattoo from you. I left in 2000. since 2017.
Okay.
Yes, 2017, 2018. That was around the first time that we met.
Yes.
So it's been about almost what, 5 years now?
Yeah, so you definitely met me in my douchey scene.
Yeah,
I was still learning.
yeah.
And the biggest part I'm happy about now is I'm not so dead set sometimes in how I feel.
Hmm.
I remember always feeling extremely opinionated on
Hmm.
things like, and this is how I feel, and I'm
Hmm.
not gonna feel no different. There's a possibility I might, bro. As I've
Hmm.
gotten older and I've realized that a lot of my mental has changed.
Hmm.
I see things different, I experience things different, and I hear things different.
Hmm.
One of my favorite things of what you're touching on is you're talking about how it took 3 hours to mow your lawn.
Hmm.
Financially, you could have somebody mow your lawn,
Hmm.
but you choose that you want to do it yourself.
You know what? And I just had this discussion yesterday morning. I did. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a couple scenarios about that. Number one, I grew up in a church. When I was a kid, I grew up in Gary, Indiana. And the shit that I saw when I was a kid made me feel like if I made it to 18, I'm doing good. If I make it to 21 and a half kids, I'm doing great. But I wanted to be 21 with kids in a big ass house, a lot of cars, and I wanted all that nice shit. And that image never left my mind. And I also remember a certain instance when I was in church. I used to drive a piece of shit when I was in high school, man. It was. And I remember my mom, I used to wash my car and vacuum it out every single Sunday. I don't give a damn if it was raining. It used to snow real bad. My mom was like, you about to go? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to clean that car. So you're going to wash the paint off of it. I don't care. But I remember my pastor at the time telling me, like, you know why you can never get more in life? Because God, you can't even take care of what God gave you. So the lesson in that is that am I going to complain about cutting my grass? I pray for this shit. So who am I to sit there and complain about going outside cutting my grass? I asked for this. So no, I'm not going to complain about it, but also I'm always grounded in my roots. I started cutting grass when I was 6 years old. It was my first job. I enjoy it because it makes me feel like a kid again. This is my shit. I worked for it. This was my first job. And my first job was a physical job. And I believe in getting everything with my hands and my feet, bro. Lifting weights. That was the first real passion I had, cutting grass. That was the first real job I had. So you know what? I get out there and cut my grass because you know what? My dad taught me how to cut grass when I was 6 years old, and he entrusted me enough to cut that damn grass in Gary, Indiana at 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old when he was at work. And every time I cut that grass, I get to go back to that memory. I get to go back to my dad taking me around, cutting grass to put a little bit of money in my pocket so I can know what it felt like to make some money. So it's those instances in life where you're right, I could pay somebody to do it. And I did pay somebody to do it. But I also told that dude, take me to go buy my own lawnmower because I'm going to cut my shit better than you cut it. I did. The head dude went and took me by my lawnmower. He wasn't mad about it. In fact, he helped me still to this day. He'll swing by, and if I'm out there cutting and he got his shit, he'll jump out and help me. And I don't have no problem with it. But it's a cool relationship because he worked on the fire department for the exact same amount of years that my dad did. So there's a lot of correlation in things, and I'm really big on finding those correlations in life. And it's still growth too, because you grow through all this stuff. It makes you realize you get older, you slow down, things start slowing down, things mean different. They have different meanings to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, there's a whole lot of reasons why I do it. And sometimes I bitch and moan about it. I'm like, but it's usually when I'm already tired and I'm going out there, like going to the gym, working out for 2 hours, literally depleting myself. And then it's 11 o'clock, the hottest day in Florida. I'm like, fuck, I got to go out and cut this grass. But you know what? Get out there and do it, bro. And half of the times I'm like, man, I love this shit. Even though I'm out here cramping up, my fingers can't even pull the trigger on my damn measure. I'm cool with that. For some odd reason, I'm cool with that shit, man. It don't bother me too much, bro. So,
Third world
yeah.
problems.
Yeah, hey, whatever. Yeah, so it's cool.
If there was one thing that you would want people to know outside of anything, what would you want your lasting testimony to be?
It's not about you, bro. I say this all the time. If you figure out why you do, better yet, I'll tell you this because this is piggybacking another conversation I had. If you're a Christian and you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, what was Jesus' sole purpose on this earth? To be a servant. If that's what you truly believe, this life isn't about you. Because guess what? You can die and all that fucking money gonna stay here. But what you did for people is gonna outlive that damn money. I promise you that. And people gonna remember you for that. So it has nothing to do with anything but I don't care if people remember anything I said in this fucking interview or podcast or whatever the case may be. It's not about you. And once you realize that and you realize that it's more about your influence, and I say this all the time, they will listen to what you do before they'll listen to what you say. They'll mimic what you do before they listen to what you say. So lead by example. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say, but they're not going to do anything you say unless they see you doing it. So lead by example, bro, because that's the influence that you have on people. And that's being a servant, is shutting up and doing what the hell it is that you say you're going to do, because people going to respect you for that long after you gone, bro. So that's the biggest thing, man. You here to be a servant. So serve.
Respect.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I'm going to be doing my part a little bit more. The channel isn't a self-serving thing for me. This is something where I'm hoping that I can give people a platform to be heard and to have their testimony and have other people hopefully believe inspired and see other people different. The biggest thing I know is as a kid, I was craving being heard.
Mm-hmm.
Not just having a conversation, but to be genuinely heard and have somebody understand the concept. I'm not crazy, just got a lot of things to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not angry. I just have a lot of frustration. And I'm hoping that there's going to be some people that are going to be able to see this and hear the things that you say and understand the pressure of the words that you applied today. It was big. I appreciate you sharing all of that. 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
You know what? There's a lot of people that set 5-year goals. I just don't,
Just
because
pushing.
I'm not gonna put a limit on whatever. I can say what I want to see 5 years to be in, but I can quadruple down and do way bigger things in 5 years. But in 5 years, man, if you think about it, my daughter she'll be 15. My youngest son will be 13. I want to have so much passive income that whatever they want to do, I can do it. I don't care what that is. If they want to buy a jet, I want to be able to buy it. So if there's anything I aspire to be, is to be completely hands off, to be 100% financially debt free, and accumulate a wealth for my children that their great grandchildren can have, bro. I don't care for anything else outside of that. And if I can do that, man, that's all that really matters to me.
Respect.
Yeah.
I like it. My man, Mike. Dude, I really appreciate you coming down. I know this is going to be really fun to go back through and listen to because there were some bombs that you dropped on me. For the future, I've definitely had some times where the pressure of knowing that I was at a really high performing point, and maybe I'm not even feeling like I was really operating in the way that I should have.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you would recommend, or you could even tell me that there's moments where even while you're playing, or even as a father, or even as a business owner, you know how to get yourself through that mental hump of telling yourself that what's happening right now, you're maybe not worth, or maybe you're not achieving to the point of what you're worth, I guess.
There's a book by this guy named Spencer Johnson called The Present.
Say that one more time.
It's a book by Spencer Johnson. It's called The Present.
The Present.
The
Gotcha.
Present. And ironically, it is what it sounds like. And that book's maybe about 100 pages. But when you go through those challenging moments, the book teaches you this. You go back to the past and you look at the things and how things happened in the past. Then you take a look at the future and you see what you want. That creates the present moment. Stay present. Take a look at all the shit that you've been through. You won. And look at all the stuff that you want in the future. You will win because you won in the past. So stay present. Just stay present. Just keep doing what the fuck it is that you're doing. Because you will win because you already have. And if you take a look at that stuff and know that no matter how bad it got, because you probably went through some fucked up stuff, that you won, you always win, bro. You don't lose. You lose when you stop. So stay present and keep going. And every single day, that's literally something I can be 100% honest with you. I hang my hat on because every day I wake up and I feel like I'm losing. But every day I wake up and remember I'm a fucking winner. I've won so many times and I will win again. It's just a matter of time. So I just got to keep going because it's never easy and it wasn't meant to be. And if it's easy, you losing. And we don't lose, man. We win, bro. We win.
Final snap of Super Bowl 45. The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
I think that one of the biggest things I've also learned about you is it's never going to need to be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be able to be successful in numerous things because that's how your mind works. I see it continue to move and continue to change. And I just realized we actually have your hat behind you.
Word? No, yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, I remember that we actually had got that. And so that's actually going to be a really good point for me to go ahead and grab my box over here. I had this shipped to myself the other day. And I had a hard time because I wasn't going to really find anything that was supposed to come in time. So I was originally wanting to find your jersey, and I found on eBay your jersey. It was $1,000, and as much as I like your boy, I'm not dropping that. Just had something I had to order in so I could have you sign it on here.
Fire to the replica.
How to do it. Yeah, the official game one wouldn't come in time, so, we were kind of working within what we had to.
Bro, the replicas, the thing about the replicas that you buy from the Packers actually are pretty much the same thing that we wear in the games. So that's actually pretty much a game helmet. The only thing that's different is they probably didn't spray it with the flakes because they spray our helmets with gold flakes. But those replicas, even the replica jerseys, are the ones that we actually wear. So, no, you got the real authentic thing, man.
That's dope. I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Lit and have him you put a little thing on there for us.
No doubt, man. Yeah, no, I like those. Those much better to sign than anything else. I don't mind signing balls. I don't mind signing jerseys, but the actual helmets, man, they these are dope, man.
I thought it'd be really cool. I'm gonna get some cases and put them in the cases and just put them in here. I thought it'd be fitting,
Yeah, man, this is fire, dude.
But that's awesome. I didn't even really notice before we started filming that we had the hat placed right in the perfect spot.
Dude, I love it.
Hey, this is gonna be really cool as a display, my man. I like it. Yeah, I was like, I should have thought about it before because I was like, man, I had hit you up and see if I could order your jersey.
Yeah.
And I could have got it on the website, but it would have taken like a couple more weeks to get here.
They take a while, man.
But the helmet, I think that just turns out even better. So
I like them, man. I have a lot of jerseys, but I prefer the helmets. People always ask me for like the helmets. I'm like, that's one thing I want. My dad asked me for a helmet because my brother gave him one. I was like, you're not getting that. I love you to death, man, but no, you're not getting that one.
Right.
Yeah, you can't have it. But I appreciate it, man.